David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say it.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
800-908-3084. That's 800-908-3084.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
The Stanley Theater in downtown Utica presents 1964, The Tribute, on Thursday, September 19th. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit thestanley.org.
My Carl's back-to-school clearance is on. Rocker recliners, just $199. Power recliners, $299. Sofa and matching chair, $399. Only at My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Well, good one Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning. Looks like it's been a morning and a half for you already.
Oh, 2 mornings.
Are
you just want to go back to bed.
So everything's going wrong.
Oh,
What are
of
you gonna
course. Yeah, a lot of things are going wrong, but I have the Mohawk Valley Association of Realtors golf tournament today, so I've got to just get through it.
Okay.
And then enjoy.
Big day today. A lot to get to this morning. I believe we have the superintendent of schools from Utica coming in.
You would be correct. I'm very excited to meet him.
His name is Dr. Christopher Spence, and we're going to meet him and get a feel for what his administration, his tenure will look like at the helm of the Utica City School District. Ryan Schmel's coming up in a few minutes. We'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. Excited about that, as always. We're halfway, tomorrow, basically halfway through the month
of August. It's insane, which means Labor Day is less than a month away, which means summer is...
Well, it's definitely less than a month away.
Leaving us.
What is... Labor Day is what this
September
year?
2nd.
Oh, so it's early. Yeah. So you're thinking that it's about, 2 weeks and 5 days, and the summer is over.
That's right.
Wow. Also this morning, the Read Rundown. Mighty John, the record guy, is on this morning, and we're looking at 10 records worth a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. That'll get you out of the
for the month of August.
Almost autumn blues.
I think it will. And then Ryan Nobles from NBC. We'll speak with Ryan on the latest with Trump and Kamala Harris. And of course, there is going to be a debate. That's That's exciting. Yankees win, Davey. Yankees win.
Juan
Yankees
Soto wins.
It was Juan Soto, Bill.
The
He
Juan
did it all.
Soto show.
I got to tell you,
Juan. 3 Juans.
I'm fearing the Mets are in a meltdown right now. Notice Davey's laugh. Just keep in mind.
That was very maniacal.
Mets are in a meltdown, and they lose again last night. They just can't get any. First of all, they're giving up runs. Oh, boy.
And Starling Marte was on a rehab assignment starting in Syracuse last night.
Yeah. He'll be important to get back.
If I knew that, I would have went down and seen him.
He will be important to get back. There's a new product out. I thought I'd lead with a new product today. It is bacon, but it has caffeine in it.
Caffeine bacon?
Caffeine bacon.
Wow. What a great way to start the day.
Oh, I was so tired till I ate my bacon, and then I was rip-raring to go. Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing, but it's a thing.
Maybe I should try to get some of my mojo back sometime.
I think you might with caffeinated bacon.
I don't have no mojo today.
What's the problem, Davey?
I slept terrible last night.
Oh boy! What's
Davey
on your
needs
mind?
his
Something had to be
mojo
on your mind.
I had something for dinner that affected my acid reflux.
Oh,
that's bad.
So that was your problem.
And I took my medicine too, and it still bothered me.
So you need someone to maybe call in today and kind of get you going.
No, not really. I'll be all right.
Okay, you sure about that?
Listen, it's not something to be ashamed about. If you need help, you can reach out.
You can.
No, I'll be all right.
All right.
But thanks anyway.
This morning we're doing Habakkuk's free money question of the day.
Yeah, before he gets in studio.
$100.
You coward.
Come on. At least keep it the same as where we were yesterday.
Okay, 200.
Okay, $200.
$250.
$250.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Davey seems to have his mojo going.
You got no mojo.
I think he's beginning to rock back and forth a little bit. He's got a little tapping of the toes going on. He's happening right now.
Need some caffeine bacon. Oh, yeah.
And Davey's got his mojo.
Davey's got his mojo working. It just won't work on you. He's got his mojo working. It won't work on you. He's gonna take your phone call and then he's gonna hang up on you.
You better believe.
That is Davey's mojo right there.
Going over to Stittsville. He calls that Mojo Land.
He loves it over there. Loves it.
He's gonna mosey over to Stittsville, a place he calls Mojo Land.
Loves his mojo land. Yeah.
He's gonna have all you women in Stittsville under his mojo command.
Yeah, that's Davey. All those ladies in Stittsville under Davey's mojo command.
I think he's already back. I think he's already got it.
He may very well be. Let's see here. Yesterday was kind of a, did it feel like kind of a quiet day yesterday? My son yesterday turned 30 years old.
That's awesome.
Benjamin.
Wow.
And we went to dinner to celebrate his birthday. And
The big 3-0.
It was awesome. 3-0.
Where'd you go?
He wanted to go out to the Turning Stone for dinner.
Oh, good choice.
So,
yeah,
that's where we went. I was like saying, "Here's where we're going to go." My wife's like, "No, you have to let him pick." I'm like, "Oh, great. We'll go broke if we let him pick." Anyway, yes, 30 years old. It's just unbelievable. Story up on our website. Yesterday we had my father-in-law, Dr. Rick Timms, on regarding foundation aid and the public hearing that was held. He testified recently. There will be one more hearing. This thing has to get fixed. It's kind of like the type of thing where they set the formula I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
They set the formula, and then they're like, okay, we got to tweak it a little bit. So they falsely propped it up, tweaked it here, tweaked it there, changed the numbers here over the last 20 years to the point now where nobody knows what it is. It's half the formulas that are being used are made-up formulas. It's a mess. And at some point, you got to be able to figure out how do you, for modern education, how do you fairly fund schools so that our schools here have the same opportunity as other schools around the state, especially those wealthier districts. How do we do that? How do you come up with a formula? Probably got to tear the whole thing down and basically start over.
Well, I feel like your father-in-law, the great Dr. Rick Timms, has been on this program over 10 years talking about this same exact thing because I just don't think anybody in Albany is getting the message. I don't think they can get it through their collective heads about the changes that are needed and what is really important. I just feel like it's as Manaski would say,
Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day all over again.
And yesterday, Senator Griffo was complaining that he feels that more people should have been given an opportunity to speak in upstate, feeling that this area was not as represented. Although the fact that
he's
Dr.
a good representative
Timms
for the area
was able to speak. I think he was one of the highlighted speakers. I got to tell you, of everybody that spoke, and you can watch. It's all up online, and there's a story up on our website at WIBX950.com where you can check it out. What else here today? How about a Tennessee school district is apparently got parents up in arms. Some parents are upset after canceling all field trips due to low test scores.
Oh, man. Well, listen.
Here's one mom speaking out about this.
I feel like they learn more from the field trips because they're having fun. It's from Warner Speakman. Fayette County Public Schools field trips canceled. Due to low test scores, Dr. Hamlet has canceled all field trips. They don't have teachers to teach the kids. So how are they going to have higher test scores when half of them, they went a whole year last year, like without a math teacher?
You got to wonder, in some of these school districts, it's rough, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the foundation aid formula. You got to be able to get this thing right. This investigation into the Afghan withdrawal is causing a little bit of a ripple. In fact, one of the investigators has now resigned. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio on the line right now. Give us an update on that. What's going on with this, Ryan? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So this gentleman's name is Jerry Dunleavy. He's a former reporter. He was brought on to the committee as an investigator, and he has been expressing some frustration to the point that he felt the need to resign from the committee's work. And he says that Michael McCall, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee out of Texas, has failed to seek answers and failed to hold the Biden administration accountable. Now, some of the specifics, we don't exactly know where those are going, but I think we'll probably find out more as Dunleavy starts to speak out about this in the near future.
I think the problem that Democrats, Republicans cannot resist making these things like this into something that's political. I wonder, are we really trying to get to the bottom of it and figure out what went wrong?
It depends. Michael McCall has been known as a committee chairman who's pretty bipartisan. He's shown a willingness to work with his fellow ranking member and fellow Democrats on that committee. He has been, pretty polite in many ways to Anthony Blinken whenever he's requested to have him or filed subpoenas with him.
Yeah.
And, he's not somebody who truly engages in, very harsh rhetoric when it comes to, how he attacks Democrats. He's very critical of the Biden administration, obviously. But at the same time, it's hard to see that this would be something that would be ultimately partisan when, there have been Democrats who've been willing to help out with this committee, too.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, it is one of the Mars on the Biden administration. That pullout is just a debacle.
That is when, and I hate to bring up polling data when we're talking about the 13 service members losing their lives, but if you go back to how President Biden was viewed in the public eye, I think that he was doing pretty well in terms of approval rating and all that, and then this Afghanistan withdrawal happened. And you saw his polling numbers start to sink, and I don't think they've ever truly recovered from that.
I agree. All right. Very interesting, Ryan, as always. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Coming up, I want to talk about, I realize the Olympics are over, but have you, we talked a little bit about the new sports that are going to be coming when the Olympics go to Los Angeles.
Yeah, some good ones.
It includes lacrosse, baseball, squash, cricket,
flag football,
and Paris had the same opportunity, and they added sports as well. And some of the sports they added included sports that aren't sports.
Breaking,
they call it breakdancing. I'm wondering if you had a chance to see and have seen any of the fallout as well of the greatest break dancer of all in the Olympics.
Is it the Australian lady?
The Australian.
Yeah, I've seen a great number of memes.
The memes, the videos, and the beauty of it is that when you see this elite athlete
can't even keep
perform as a break dancer, you realize that yes, even you could be an Olympian. I mean, you could be. We'll talk about that coming up in a second, and then get your theory. I want to know what you think. Coming up, I do want to break though. First, beautiful day on the way today. We may get a little bit of rain. A little bit is possible. Maybe a slight little thunderstorm or some showers. Otherwise, we're talking about sunshine today and another beautiful day with the highs going up near 80 degrees. Okay, we'll talk about this breakdancing coming up.
Do you know what time of year it is? It's our annual 50% off window installation sale at New York Sash.
Now, for a limited time, you can get 50% off the installation of any new window.
Need one new window? 50% off installation. 2 new windows? 50% off installation. 10 new windows? 50% off installation.
Choose from double hung, slider, bay, and more. Whatever window you need, we've got it all. All our windows are 50% off installation, and with our windows, you always get energy efficiency, long-lasting beauty, and lifetime warranties.
And did we mention 50% off installation right now?
Plus, with New York Sash, you get a stress-free, hassle-free, headache-free experience because our installers are true certified craftsmen. We never use subcontractors.
So take advantage of our 50% off new window installation. It happens once a year, and it's happening now.
Sale ends soon, so drop by our showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or call us at 624-7344 and visit NewYorkSash.com.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
800-908-3084. That's 800-908-3084.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Good guy. This breakdancing woman from Australia. What's your theory? Do you? I mean, she legitimately won the right to be the breakdancing athlete.
Was there a male and female
I believe so.
division of this thing?
Well, she's the female.
Oh boy.
There may have been more than
you
one.
were just in Europe. Is it a big thing in that
Everywhere
region?
you go in Europe, they're breakdancing.
Really?
Yeah. Breakdancing on the cheeks of David, the behind cheeks of David. You see him swooping around. No, I don't know where this came from. And this woman, when you're looking at her, and there are memes everywhere. I'm sure you've seen it.
I saw one that was when you're watching your comforter inside the dryer.
It's unbelievable how bad it is. And it's
I
something
gotta
that-
look. I gotta look.
It's
at
something
this
that
here.
you and I could do. Like I could do her moves. Totally could do her moves. Are you coming over to watch?
Yeah.
Oh, I could play a little bit. This is. Let's see if I can get it to play. Yeah, I can. Watch. Here she is. She's she's like crawling all over. She's crawling all over the floor. And meanwhile, her competitor is looking at her like, "You've got to be kidding me."
Well, I love that the meme that you're looking at is my toddler's reaction when I tell
Yeah,
no.
tell him no.
But not to say that I could even get up from that position if I were to get down there. So I shouldn't be too critical. But I've seen a lot better breakdancers than that.
You think?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure too. Okay, I want to bring up something that I'm not.
I got a good chuckle out of
I'm not
yesterday.
I want to
afternoon.
bring up there's news that we cover, and then there's interoffice news.
Breaking.
And we work at a facility here in Marcy where there are 5, Davey, count them, am I correct in saying 5 different radio stations?
Yep, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
WIBX, there's the Frog, Light 98.7.
OUR and Eagle.
Yeah, 5 radio stations, some of which are legendary radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
So that means staff from 5 radio stations all in one building every single day. And so it's a common area. There's a common area. We have a bathrooms like any other workplace.
Yeah, break room.
Which is a conversation we could have for another day. I mean, sometimes I'll walk into the bathroom and be like, well, I can only imagine what some people's homes must look like by looking inside the bathroom. Like some of the things that are done in the bathroom. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But you still have to use it.
Sometimes. Yeah.
You have no
sometimes.
choice.
But then again, I've been to some really horrible public restrooms as well. So
There is no bathroom.
it is true. You don't even. You can't, it's hard to even believe it is a bathroom. Anyway, the show. With all of this said, we received a memo yesterday. Do you have it in front of you? Because I'm trying to find it and I can't find it. I can't even believe I read the memo that I read.
I deleted it, but I can bring it up again here.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's right here.
So this is an inner office.
This is from our big boss.
This is an inner office memo, and it reads the following.
It was brought to my attention that someone's lunch was eaten today. Really? And this has happened before. Come on, guys. Let's not have this happen again. Don't eat food that's not yours.
Silence. Silence. Are you kidding me?
Somebody ate someone's lunch.
Somebody in the building. Davey, was it you? Were you trying to get your mojo back?
No, I was gone. I was already on my way home when that email came.
Now,
that doesn't absolve you.
When I was a young person starting out in radio, I would work weekends at this little radio station. And there you would be at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you'd been there since 4, all alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing half-hour tapes. And Sluzarzik, all the golden hits.
Was McDonald's the only option for you?
In Little Falls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was Carney's Corners and McDonald's.
So you had some good variety.
So were there moments where I would have looked into the refrigerator to say, was there a moment where I wanted a Diet Coke? They had a Coke machine at the time. I wanted a Coke so badly that I might have popped the top and pulled the Coke machine over and allowed in that glass bottle the Coke to go into my cup. Yeah, it might have happened once or twice. Were there times that I illegally left the radio station all alone, locked the door behind me, and ran out to Carney's Corners to get a day-old piece of pizza that I could bring back to the station because I was starving? Yes. But I don't know that I ever stole someone's food.
I'm so unbelievably disappointed.
I've left during my shift like you have when I was down on RUN, down on the old
You
Thomas,
do what you got to.
on the old Thomas Road.
But
there.
have you ever stolen someone's food?
No.
I'm going to tell you something. I would never have turned this person in. I would have continued to make food every day and pack them with diuretics. I would have made tuna fish with diuretic. I would have made...
You would have had to have remembered what you packed, right? And, at first when I
wouldn't eat any
just
of
do
it.
that same thing because obviously it attracted the person enough where they took it. My initial reaction to this was, okay, it's an unfortunate thing. You really looked forward to that, whatever you packed for lunch, and you were really excited about it, and you're hungry. And
Are you implying that this is an overreaction? I disagree.
That was my initial thought, but now that you talked about the fact that I and some would say I'm kind of particular about my food and a freak when it comes to eating.
First of all,
if you were looking forward to something so much that you would be angry.
You made a special sandwich. You're waiting for it. You're looking forward to it. You can't wait for that moment. It's like, okay, now I'm going to go get it. And then you go to get it, and someone has eaten it. Now, I got to tell you, it's happened to me several times when I put anything in that refrigerator, like a Diet Pepsi, it's gone.
Really?
Oh, yes.
So this is a repetitive problem.
I keep a cooler in my car. Listen, you don't want to keep if you're at a workplace, if you have a workplace, many of us do, I highly suggest keeping your things in your car because when they fire you, the box is much smaller. You've already, I've already got everything in my car. I'm just going to grab my headphones and I'm leaving.
You can't really bring anything in here.
I'll steal it! No one will ever know!
Did someone give you a sound effects button bar?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, my Lord. That's a mistake. So I have to say that I'm with whoever. I don't know whose lunch was stolen, but it amazes me that someone would have the gall.
Like a drink.
Someone would have even a drink.
One thing.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You don't take
been in there a while,
other people's things. You don't take other people's things.
No, I agree. I would never
and
do
let
it.
alone, their hands have been on that bread making that sandwich, if that's what it was.
Do you think the person that took it is that worried about that?
Apparently not.
I want to know what it was. I'm kind of curious now.
Well,
there's so many vague details in this email that I just
want you to
knew.
know. I want you to know I'm 100% with the person who had their lunch stolen. I can't believe somebody would do this. And I'm with Tracy, who's like, give me a break. What is wrong with you people? That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you pull over if another driver on the highway started pointing at you and telling you to? I got to tell you, I've had this happen before, and you're looking, they're pointing at something in your car, like what's going on? What's wrong? And then you roll your window down. Your gas cap is off. It's like, yeah, who cares? All right, I'm on my way somewhere. Some people try to. You left your coffee on the top of the car.
Yeah, right.
I mean, these things.
Is that a baby carriage on the top of your car?
It actually did happen in Utah. A guy from Utah is glad he did pull over because it turned out his engine was on fire.
Oh my! How do you not notice that?
Your engine's on fire. Well, the smoke is behind you. You're not seeing it.
Oh, my gosh.
He was told by a guy on a cycle. The guy on the bike turned out to be a snowboarder. He was born with cerebral palsy and actually was an Olympian snowboarder. Zach Miller competed 2 years ago. And he warned the person that their car was on fire, and they finally pulled over and realized their car really was on fire.
Your truck is on fire. You're on fire. Yeah, over here. You have a fire extinguisher with you? Pop the hood.
And then this guy, this former Olympian, actually helped him put out the fire. Wow.
Yeah, something busted. You're blowing a bunch of white smoke, so you have an oil leak somewhere. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah. Can you imagine, though, somebody
immediately started breakdancing.
Yeah, I like the car, too. I love this color, too, is how I'd be responding. Like I
know. Isn't the car fire? It's awesome.
Yeah. Fire red. What else here? Someone in New York put a bunch of goldfish in a puddle under a leaky fire hydrant, and there's major drama in New York City. The city says the leaky hydrant could cause issues if there is a fire. They keep turning it off, but locals keep turning it back on. It's been a hot summer in New York. Here are people in the neighborhood talking about this and about the fish that have been placed below the hydrant.
I think it's beautiful that this is in the neighborhood, and they should leave it there.
What I'm wondering, is it art? Is it a prank? Is it beautification?
So I've never seen fish on the street before.
Some guy in Virginia lost control of his car and crashed into somebody's house and then offered the homeowner $50,000 if they wouldn't call the police. I'll give you $50,000 if you don't call the police. He told her his dad was a millionaire. She declined. Here's the homeowner talking about what went down.
He went through a stockade fence. He took out the post, not just the fence. He took out the post.
Well, you remember the time that I was driving down the road and all of a sudden my windows fogged up.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
And I slowed way down and just kept creeping like an idiot.
And hit the fence.
And I hit my neighbor's fence.
Every time I drive by that fence, I think about that now.
Yeah. And I came after work because I went to him and said, I'm so sorry. And you're the one that did it. I'm like, yes, I apologize.
Hit and run.
Well, I had to get to work.
Did you say
there was nobody out?
$25 to not call the police?
No, I felt terrible, right? You feel bad. San Francisco neighborhood has been dealing with loud disturbances from driverless cars getting confused in a parking lot and honking at each other all night long. These are driverless vehicles honking at each other.
That's annoying.
Here's a little of that audio.
So I was like, where's that coming from? I looked down, and I was like, I think it's coming from the Waymo cars.
So Waymo cars are driverless cars.
What is it, like a ride-sharing service?
It happened again and again, and I started thinking, well, this is an issue.
Yeah, so you wonder where we're going to be in 10 years with these driverless vehicles. I do think it is, people are like, well, they're not working out, they're going to go away. I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
so either.
A lot of those driverless cars coming up eventually at some point. Your airplane, the airplane you're on, the pilots are probably lounged back and it's on autopilot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Here's Roger. Here's Roger.
Okay,
Roger.
yeah,
Hi,
we
Roger.
got a comment here.
Good morning, Roger.
Hey, good morning. Look, I hope you guys can solve this for me. My wife, she had a very delicious cake.
Yeah.
And she put it in the refrigerator, and she put on it mine.
Yeah.
Well, I come home, and I open it up the refrigerator, and it says mine. I said, oh, okay. So I ate the cake. She comes home, and she gets furious with me.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's mine. She goes, no, it was mine.
Well, I think that...
Please settle. Who's right in this?
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with you on this because it was an inappropriate
labeling,
an incorrect labeling issue.
I think she would have had to put her name on it.
Yeah, if I look at something and it says mine, I'm going to think that's mine.
There you go.
My mind is going to go there.
Especially if you picked it up before eating it. If you place it in your hands It's in your possession. It
Now,
says mine.
Had she placed a label on that cake that said "not yours," now that would have been different.
It would have been a whole different ball game.
That would have been different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I try to explain it. She doesn't buy my explanation.
Well, listen.
We had a lot of fun with it, but
At the end of the
I just
day,
wanted
though,
you to know that
at the end of the day,
proper labeling is important.
labeling is important.
It
And the
is.
other part of this is the big question: how was the cake?
Yeah, and what kind?
Oh, I knew exactly what was going to happen when I ate it.
I'll bet you
But
did.
I didn't care.
You had to do
was
it.
just awesome.
Yeah, good for you.
But I just wanted to comment that, labeling is important. and
Labeling. All right.
listeners out there, it wasn't my fault. It was her fault.
That's right. That's right.
You got to put your
And
name
I'm
on
glad
it.
you guys reinforced that.
I'm with you,
Thank so much.
100%. All right, Roger. Thank you. All right. We're with Roger. You have comments as well.
Yeah, Deeds in New Hartford saying, Davey dined and dashed. Don't lie, Davey. Ha, 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 ha. Hilarious that someone did that.
Well, unless you're the person whose
lunch was
counting
taken.
on that sandwich.
And then you've got to be the person to know
I
that
would
there's an
never.
email about you in the building that somebody had to send out because you had to steal someone's lunch.
There are shows that are talking about it. Like, what if it was one of us that took the sandwich? It wasn't you.
No,
I would never. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to wonder if it was you. You would never do that, and I would never do that.
No, because I'm also very weird about, other things, and there was most likely mustard on it, and that's disgusting.
You know a lot about this sandwich.
We don't even know that it was a sandwich.
That's a good point. Right, we don't know.
It could have been something really funky, right? Like, what do you think it was, Davey?
Do you know what it was?
Hell no.
Hell no.
It wasn't me.
Woman
If
okay,
it was a
Shaggy.
turkey sandwich with mustard on it, then I'd be saying it's good.
A woman in Florida was helping clean up after Hurricane Debbie and found a message in a bottle.
Get out.
From 1945.
Stop it.
It's a note written to a friend. Now, this is not up here, just for the record.
This was down in Florida.
Yeah. In Florida. It's a note written to a friend, and it's on official U.S. Navy letterhead. It's on official U.S. Navy letterhead. Historians are trying to track down more information. Here is the woman who actually found the note talking.
I like to pick up trash. I like to make myself useful. In like my third bag, I noticed a glass bottle and you could see the note. And I went to grab it. I was like, oh my goodness, I think I just found a message in a bottle. Dear Lee, received your letter yesterday. Was glad to hear from you. If you do good things happen. There's a sense of excitement and also like a story that hopefully we can find its home and bring it to its place.
Okay.
This idea of messages in a bottle is fascinating to me. Like, how have they not all been collected yet? Do they really bounce around in the ocean until they come ashore?
It's a big ocean. It's a big ocean.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
But the fact that the cork can stay in there so well is really amazing to me.
A driver in Philadelphia opened fire on a woman and her young nephew during a road rage incident.
What the hell?
I've seen some. I've been on the thruway a lot. And I've seen some really rough road rage incidents recently that it's a wonder. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking at some point one of these cars is going to go 20 feet in the air, and we're going to have to get out of the way because it's going to come down on top of us or somebody else. That's why I backed away, because the rage is so intense, these people aren't thinking. And then you wonder, what if somebody has in their glove compartment a gun? And that's exactly what happened here in Philadelphia. The driver opened fire on a woman and her young nephew. The man was taken into custody earlier this week. Here's Deputy Police Chief Joseph Hagan talking about what went down.
There was an accident right prior to him shooting. From the damage on both vehicles, we're able to show that his driver's side did hit her passenger side of the vehicle. Her being killed within inches. The one shot went right through the windshield, and multiple other shots went through the front of the car into the car compartment, like the engine area.
It is amazing the woman didn't die. She was hit by shrapnel.
Wow, that's crazy.
So she was hit. The young nephew was not hit, and it was pretty bad. All right, next hour, we'll speak with the new superintendent of schools at Utica. His first week on the job was last week, right?
Yeah, he's already in the thick of things. He's already done done a lot, as Habaika said. He was unveiling a 100-point plan, I believe, that was released yesterday, I believe. So we'll talk to him about that and more.
We'll do that next hour. Also later in the morning, Mighty John, the record guy, excited about that. Ryan Nobles from NBC will get the latest on the former president versus the current vice president. Trump versus Harris. We'll get the latest on that coming up. And Habaika's free money question of the day this morning. What did we agree on?
$250, Davey said.
$250, Davey. Nice job today. We have agreed on $250 as a possible winning. Let's see what happens. It's coming up.
Having chest pain is frightening. Believe me, I know. Am I having a heart attack? I'm short of breath. What's happening? This is Dr. Fred Tellerico. I'm a cardiologist, chief medical officer at the Wynn Hospital, and also a cardiac patient. And I can tell you firsthand that our dedicated staff, along with the physicians and mid-level providers of Central New York Cardiology, provide the quality care required in treating all aspects of heart disease. With our emergency department and EMS partners, we also offer the best treatment for acute cardiac emergencies, including angioplasty for those suffering from a heart attack, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the hospital being brand new, we are able to employ the most up-to-date expertise and technology. Our facility is only one of 2 hospitals statewide honored by the American College of Cardiology with the prestigious award of being a quality heart care center. Our patients at the Wynn can be assured that we want what is best for them. We are a small community, and you are our neighbors, our friends, and even family members. We take this personally and are dedicated to providing you.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
She survived her challenge. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar wins a Democratic primary in Minnesota.
We run the politics of joy. That's right. Because we know it is joyful to fight for your neighbors.
Omar's win comes after 2 other House Progressive Squad members lost primaries this year. Vice President Harris's running mate Tim Walz campaigned at a union event in Los Angeles.
We know how to do this. We've got 84 days to take control of our own destiny.
Fox's Mike Emanuel reports.
A new poll out this morning from the Financial Times and the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business says 60% of voters want Harris to abandon Bidenomics. As former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance travel battleground states, there is no surprise the former president is emphasizing economic issues.
There will be a Trump rally today in North Carolina while running mate J.D. Vance campaigns in Michigan. Former Trump rival in the Republican primaries, Nikki Haley, tells Fox they have to stop worrying about Harris being their new Democratic rival and avoiding the press.
Quit whining about her. We knew it was going to be her. She's not going to give an interview.
3 years ago today, as American troops were withdrawing from Afghanistan, the Taliban took back control of the country, and they're celebrating that today.
Parading around Bagram Air Base, hundreds of people, including Chinese and Iranian diplomats, gathering at the base with helicopters bringing in senior Taliban officials. Amongst them, we saw many U.S. weapons, and it is a reminder that during that chaotic withdrawal, 600,000 U.S. weapons were left.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. Tropical storm Ernesto is hitting the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez is in San Juan.
Flash flood warnings issued across the island, and some 300,000 people are already without power. This is truly just the beginning of heavy downpours we expect to continue.
Ernesto's forecast to grow into a hurricane, perhaps hit Bermuda this weekend. America's listening to Fox News.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. You know, tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
There's a new attempt to get a ceasefire in Gaza with peace talks tomorrow, though Hamas may not take part. As Israel keeps attacking those militants, Palestinian officials say airstrikes overnight killed 17 people, including children. As Israel still awaits the attack, Iran vowed, and the U.S. is getting ready for whatever might happen.
The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is accelerating towards the Middle East, where it is likely to join a strike group already deployed in the region.
We're not seeking conflict. We don't want conflict, but we're going to do what we need to do to support the defense of Israel and support the protection of our forces.
Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder says the U.S. is prepared to respond to any contingency, but would not detail what a U.S. response may look like if Iran or one of its proxy groups launches an attack against Israel. Iranian leaders are vowing retaliation for the assassination of a senior Hamas leader in Tehran they say was carried out by Israel. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
We'll get another inflation update next hour on consumer prices for July, the day after smaller than expected wholesale inflation led to a stock market surge. Futures, though, up modestly now. A baseball player's on trial starting today in the Dominican Republic. Wander Franco, a suspended Tampa Bay Ray.
Franco has been charged with sexual abuse of a 14-year-old girl and faces charges of rape and human trafficking. Franco could face 10 to 15 years in prison for the rape charge and 15 to 20 years for the human trafficking charge. The mother of the minor will also go on trial on a money laundering charge, as prosecutors allege that Franco paid the mother thousands of dollars to consent to the abuse. Major League Baseball placed Franco on the administrative list on August 22, 2023, but he was then put on the restricted list last month after being formally charged, according to ESPN. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Franco's team, the Rays, lost to the Astros last night, Houston's 7th straight win. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. We have your full weather forecast coming up right now. We are at 60 degrees under mostly clear skies. Again, your full forecast in minutes and anytime at WIBX950.com. A 15-year-old boy remains in critical condition after being the victim of a shooting in Syracuse. The teen was dropped off at Upstate University Hospital Monday night, and was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. It's believed he was hit by gunfire on Westmoreland Avenue near the intersection of East Fayette Street. Anyone who has information on this case is asked to come forward. A Salina man is under arrest and facing charges after being accused of committing a disturbing crime. Authorities claim 31-year-old Sean Carpenter was involved in the sexual abuse of a 3-year-old child. Carpenter allegedly engaged in sexual conduct with the child at his residence on Sunflower Drive. He's currently behind bars on $150,000 cash bail at the Onondaga County Justice Center. The New York State Department of Transportation is alerting drivers about an ongoing construction project in Onondaga County. The agency says Interstate 81 southbound exits 27, 26, and 25A will be reduced to one lane from the hours of 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. through Friday. Crews are going to be out on the highway in that area doing bridge deck repairs. It's likely there will be delays, and motorists may want to consider an alternate route. And the Oriskany Creek Watershed Commission has developed several strategies to reduce flooding. On Thursday, residents will have an opportunity to provide their input. A public hearing will be held at the Waterville Village office at 4:30 p.m. Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti stated that the flood study addresses the underlying causes where sediment and debris accumulation increases flooding risk. The study breaks the 33-mile creek into 5 zones: Madison, Augusta, and Oriskany Falls, the town of Marshall, Kirkland, and Whitestown. In each zone, there is a proposal to mitigate flooding and stabilize the creek. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. For today, we may see an isolated rain shower, maybe a thunderstorm. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high in the low to mid 80s. It'll be clear overnight with a low around 60. Then mostly sunny tomorrow with a slight chance of rain and thunderstorms. We'll see a high in the mid 80s. Full 5-day forecast anytime at WIBX950.com. Right now, we're at 61 degrees under mostly clear skies at 7:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Giants' top draft pick is confident his NFL career will start on time. Rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors said there is, quote, no doubt he will be ready for week one. Neighbors is recovering from an ankle injury that he suffered over the weekend. According to ESPN, he is dealing with a low ankle sprain. Head coach Brian Daboll said tests and imaging have confirmed there was no serious damage. The G-men selected Neighbors with the 6th overall pick in the draft. New York continues the preseason when they visit Houston on Saturday afternoon. Aaron Rodgers is hopeful that a top pass rusher for the Jets remains with the team. Veteran edge Hassan Reddick has requested a trade, but Rodgers said Tuesday he reached out to Reddick to try to convince him to join the team. Rodgers said that he believes this season is going to be a, quote, fun ride, but also understands that Reddick must do what he feels is best for his family. Reddick, who has 1 year remaining on his contract, officially requested the trade Monday. He was acquired from the Eagles March 29th. Gang Green continues the preseason when they visit the Panthers Saturday night. The Athletics opened their series against the Mets with a 9-4 victory at Citi Field. Paul Blackburn was saddled with the loss after allowing 7 runs, 6 of them earned, on 6 hits over 4 innings pitched. Pete Alonso drove in a pair of runs with a 2-run shot. New York is now 3rd in the NL East at 61-58. They'll continue their 3-game set tonight in Queens. And Juan Soto did really well last night, hitting 3 home runs, being intentionally walked, his 4th at bat, robbing him the opportunity of 4 home runs, which he may have hit. He was on a hot streak. He was the offense for the Yankees last night as they beat Chicago 4-1. From Guaranteed Rate Field. That is the 28th park in which Juan Soto has hit a home run. He's got 2 more. One of them, I believe, Texas, which they'll be in Texas in September. I have to figure out who the other team is and get back to you. But if he can do it in September, hit a home run in each of those series on the road, he'll have hit a home run in every single Major League Baseball park. With that win, New York is atop the AL East at 71-50. They'll close out the 3-game set tonight in Chicago. If you're dealing with difficult pain that is debilitating at times and is chronic, well, Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street may be able to help. Check out their website, reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com. It's an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and all joint issues. It specifically helped my injury to my ankle and foot. I was dealing with some severe inflammation and a nagging pain. And after 6 treatments, my pain went from an 8 to a 0. They're located at 2709 Genesee Street, and if you mention the Keeler Show, they will give you a discount on your initial consultation with one of their doctors, which includes a softwave therapy treatment, and they'll put you on a treatment and recovery plan and assessment that's right for you. They'll let you know if they can help. You may be dealing with neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder, neuropathy pain even. Dr. Nate said that a woman with neuropathy had started to see a reversal of the pooling blood and purpling in her foot after just 1 visit. There's also several teams, the professional sports teams that use this technology, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cubs, the Guardians, the Lakers, and the Nets. Even Team USA uses this in their locker room. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call. See if they can help. 315-725-8427. 315-725-8427. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy, Genesee Street in Utica.
My Carl's back-to-school clearance is on. Rocker recliners, just $199. Power recliners, $299. Sofa and matching chair, $399. Only at My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Crispies. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information for young families. If you have young children, you face unique challenges that must be addressed when considering your estate planning. Well, they, of course, have issues related to who will take care of and raise their children when they die. In addition, they have to have concerns about how the assets are maintained and managed after their death. They need to utilize trusts, and of course, they need to have life insurance to protect their children for future costs. Blended families face unique circumstances and legal issues that must be considered with their estate planning. How do we make sure that all the children from both families receive some sort of inheritance? Oftentimes we'll use very special techniques in our wills, or we'll use IRAs or life insurance to make sure they receive an inheritance. They are all very special challenges. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Do you know what time of year it is? It's our annual 50% off window installation sale at New York Sash.
Now, for a limited time, you can get 50% off the installation of any new window.
Need 1 new window? 50% off installation. 2 new windows? 50% off installation. 10 new windows? 50% off installation.
Choose from double hung, slider, bay, and more. Whatever window you need, we've got it all. All our windows are 50% off installation, and with our windows, you always get energy efficiency, long-lasting beauty, and lifetime warranties.
And did we mention 50% off installation right now?
Plus, with New York Sash, you get a stress-free, hassle-free, headache-free experience because our installers are true certified craftsmen. We never use subcontractors.
So take advantage of our 50% off new window installation. It happens once a year, and it's happening now.
Sale ends soon, so drop by our showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or call us at 624-7344 and visit NewYorkSash.com.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at AbacusPays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at AbacusPays.com.
Not all policies will qualify. Not available in all states.
My Carl's back-to-school clearance is on. Rocker recliners, just $199. Power recliners, $299. Sofa and matching chair, $399. Only at My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Alrighty now. And we were just, as a matter of fact, yesterday talking with Joe Habaika about the fact that Utica now has a new superintendent of schools. And he said, I'm going to try to get him in studio, and we're about to do that here this morning. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
I don't have a YouTube shot of you, Joe.
It's fine.
Because I don't want to mess with the cameras.
No, I understand.
I got a good shot on the superintendent, so I think
he looks good in that picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Sharp dressed man.
He's sharp dresser, very handsome, and unbelievably smart.
Okay. So talk about this, though. This has been a quite a long process.
It has. We spent a few months going through the process. Ultimately, we narrowed it down to, I think, a dozen candidates. Then we narrowed it down to 4. And then from 4, it really was 1.
Yeah.
And here he is.
All right.
Here he is.
And
Dr. Christopher Spence.
Good morning, Dr. Spence. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about, by the way, do you where are you from and all that? A little bit about you.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the warm introduction. Guys, it's got to be blushing for the audience who can't see. But, I'm
Joe does that to all of us.
Good. Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm originally from New York City, but educated upstate. I've worked in the Buffalo area, Rochester area. We got a real love for upstate. And I know we're in central New York, but, being from downstate, once you go past Mount Vernon, Westchester, you're upstate.
Yeah. I believe Queens is upstate, isn't it?
Upstate at that minute. Staten Island at this point, right? So, it's just great. Really love this community. But, I'm a true New Yorker, having, lived in New York City, went to New York City schools, but also been educated in higher education in, Western New York. So, truly love the state. Just a New York guy.
Did you go to school at Buffalo?
Yes, University of Buffalo.
Okay, good school.
Great school.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And a hot town right now. I spent a lot of time out there recently, and it's a pretty cool. Buffalo's made a resurgence.
Yes, it is. A lot of economic development out there.
Yeah, stuff happening. All right, you've had a chance to look at Utica, one of the big school districts. I realize it doesn't compare to New York City, but one of the big school districts in the state. And what are your thoughts? How do you, I don't want to say, there's been a lot of turning around going on. So I'm sure you're well versed on, this has been an interesting, bumpy couple of years here.
Yeah, I think it's a really great school district with a great community. And, some of our strengths are the fact that we have a very pluralistic community in regards to the student population. We have people from everywhere, so we really want to join our strengths. I've got an opportunity just to meet some of the community folks, some of my internal stakeholder staff, really a lot of great people working within the organization that really just want what's best and are really ready for that sort of transformative leadership and that transformation for the Utica City School District. And then just having a breakfast yesterday, meeting with other stakeholders, assistants, leaders, it's just evident, like it was evident with the board, that we really want to focus on how do we build our schools and leverage our community assets in a way that are going to create opportunities for students so that they can be successful and hopefully stay within our communities and, continue to grow so we can thrive as a community.
We're dealing, like many cities throughout the state, dealing with youth violence, which, like it or not, does involve the schools. These are kids who should be, their biggest concern should be, am I going to get on the football program or am I going to pass this? Whatever. But instead, they're out at night and they have guns. And how do you combat that?
Well, I think there's something that's happening at the state level. So, the state education department has really looked at, the output, right, the student outcomes, and said, we really need a framework, social emotional learning, to help out, to equip our young people with the skills and the habits of mind so that we can de-escalate and deal with conflict and things like that. And that's a state initiative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's really implementing those things. It's really helping to provide our young people with tools. And also, we'll be working to look at how do we expand opportunities for kids even beyond a traditional school day. So I'll be looking at, our structures to see, what type of extended learning opportunities, enrichment opportunities do we have for our young folks. But this is something that's been recognized as a state. And it's one of the things, in education, it changes. People say schools haven't changed, but they changed a lot. And there was a time when we didn't teach health in schools. There was a time when you didn't teach certain subjects. And as time progressed, there was by leadership, there was a recognition that these things needed to be a part of the curriculum and part of the courses. So we'll do exactly what the state has asked us to do as a district, a local educational agency, and really double down on those things and look to expand opportunities for students.
Well, just think of the changes even the teachers have to deal with today. They're responsible much more for the things that parents 20, 30 years ago were responsible for, right down to school breakfasts and becoming really important.
Mm-hmm. Anything beyond reading, writing, and arithmetic is extra. No different than driver's ed.
Yeah.
No different. Everything. That's the basics of school. Anything beyond that is an additional. And as we receive more mandates from the federal government and we receive more mandates from the states, we have to really think about how are we cultivating a future human capital for this country and for this local area. If we do not produce a citizenry that can think independently and make rational and sound decisions, we're going to be in trouble. Our work here is critically important, and we're going to use the resources at our disposal, to do those things. And I also, was a teacher, for the viewing audience, English language arts teacher, certified 7 through 12 with the 5-6 extension, so I've taught in some very challenging districts and was able to have, success working with our young people as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as Bill was mentioning, that don't have some of that guidance as far as, basic things like hygiene or even the idea that they can be better or they can do better than their parents is something they realize with school and with their teachers. And, I know a lot of the Utica City School District teachers. My cousin is one, and they're very excited to have somebody young and, with a lot of ideas such as yourself taking on this role.
Thank you. That's good. I can't wait to meet the staff more broadly. Just the people I've been meeting, they've been really great and committed, because I think, we all, and that's what the Utica United hashtag is really about. We all want what's best for the city. We all want what's best for these kids because they're going to inherit the city that we leave them. And so, we'll be working to really position the district in a way that it's malleable to the extent that we can deal with the needs. You see that a lot in the private sector with the businesses, right?
Yeah.
They don't, the businesses don't say, well, the customers in the past, they used to just come to us and come shop. The businesses have to adapt, or the bottom line is gone. It dissipates. So, we have to really think about what are the trends that we're seeing in society, and then how are we positioning the district to address those to the extent possible. And the district can't do it all by itself, which is why we have to be intentional about the community partnerships and the ways in which we engage with the broader community, because we need their support as well. It truly takes a village.
How do you not walk into something like this and and Utica is not a unique animal here. Larger city school districts, larger school districts have complex problems that the smaller and medium-sized school districts don't have as much. And it would be easy to kind of walk in and just say, there's no fixing this. I don't know how we fix this. How do you fix this?
So I think, number one, I got to give a lot of credit to the board. You got a board here that's really working, saying, hey, we recognize we have some challenges, we have some problems, and we want to really, have someone who's going to be willing to think and, guide us, but also work with us to improve. And, Rome's not built in a day. It's really the thinking. It's really how we think, our imagination. Unfortunately, I didn't get a graduate school book where I can go to chapter 5 and it says, hey, Utica problem right there, just do this. I wish I did. It's really, this is a massive organization. So we really have to really think about these problems. Now, in full transparency, we're going to be innovative. We're going to try things. Some things may not work. But that's why we monitor and evaluate the things that do work and do more of that. And we stop the things that don't work. And we go back to the drawing board and think. So it's all comes down to the thinking, knowing our constituents, just being in a role where you can sort of inspire, lead, but also draw on the talent that we have to really move and advance our district forward. And, there will be new challenges of tomorrow. We didn't think about a pandemic. That wasn't in my course training. How do you navigate through a pandemic?
Right.
How do you deal with learning loss? How do you deal with the shifts in the economy that force parents to work more. So in some households, there's less supervision for children. We are not disconnected, nor is the school district immune to the larger forces that are at play in society. Everything that happens within society filters through the school district because we service society.
Yeah.
I was reading the other day, I'm going to throw a few day-to-day type issues at you that are facing school districts right now, which will probably face Utica as well. There is a local school district that just recently instituted a cell phone policy.
Oh my gosh! You would have thought it was the end of the world.
Well, and I'll bring Joe in on this too. I'm wondering how they're going to pull this one off, because the cell phone policy is that no students during school, during lunch, at any point are allowed to possess a cell phone. And that also applies to teachers. How quickly is the union going to get involved in that one? I'll start with you on this, Joe.
Well, we're going to study the policy.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to evaluate it and see whether it fits for us. Now, obviously, we're going to be doing that with the assistance and guidance of the administration as well.
Are cell phones the big problem today that we all need to be worried about?
From my perspective, as a board member, I think it's a major problem. Yeah. But on the flip side, parents want to have, their idea is, I need to have a lifeline to my child.
Yeah. You're going to find parents are going to be stowing away the cell phone because they want that lifeline.
Well, no, and I understand that. The problem is it's just like, and I don't like to, rehash the past, but, the fact of the matter is we had a situation in the school, there was an altercation, and the kids were going to, instead of going and I know either if I were that age during the time that I was in, I either would have been trying to break it up or I would have been going to get someone to break it up.
No, but you got to
right?
film it. You got to put
now,
it on your Snapchat.
Now you not only have to have to video it, but you have to upload it immediately to what's your AirDrop? You airdrop it, and everybody in the school has it.
Well,
not a good thing.
And the problem is, this is not a student problem. This is a society problem.
No, it's a society problem.
So they're doing what they've seen adults do.
But just hang on one second, because that's a 64-year-old grandfather's view of things. Because I used to carry my lunch to school and walk and do all that
uphill
stuff, right? Yes, exactly. So now let's listen to an educator and administrator's view.
How do you solve the cell phone problem?
Well, first, got to just delineate roles. The board deals with policy. I deal with the operations of the day.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it is at the purview of the board. If that's a policy that the board wishes to pursue, I'll provide guidance and thoughts there. It's again
you have an opinion on it, though?
And most things, there's a lot of context that I would need. I haven't been here long enough to really evaluate how the cell phones are being used in the school. Are they being used as an instructional tool? Or not? Technology is like anything; it depends on how you use it. So I don't have the context to really, definitively state that it is a problem. It's not a problem. There's questions that I have that I would need to investigate. And so, Joe said, it's something we're going to study.
It is, I would imagine, and I'd like your opinion on this. But even as parents, we have to deal with this, right? It's important to guide your kids, to have restrictions, to have limits, but at the same time, you want them to feel empowered in some way. You want them to be able to make those decisions, proper decisions on their own. And when you empower a kid, oftentimes the result can be positive. However, that can get out of control. How do you balance all that?
I think there's a lot of education we have to do, just with technology in general. Like, one of the things that I've just noticed is just in society, ability to evaluate credible and non-credible sources, the ability to filter misinformation. how are we training people to look at, and utilize the internet in productive ways? And so, that's a skill that we need to really think about, from an organizational standpoint, how are we doing things like that? So that's just one example of, technology usage, but
Well, that's a very interesting, because do we want to, at this point in our world, because cell phones are not going away, do we want to say, all right, we're pulling them all from, we are not teaching critical thinking when it comes to cell phones? Maybe we have to accept the fact that the cell phones are here. We're going to be dealing with them, and there's going to be a lot of false information coming in. Maybe we want an educated young population that can deal with these better than their parents can deal with it.
Yeah, and those notions will be discussed thoroughly with the board.
Yeah.
I'm sure the board has an opinion, and we'll go back and forth and really look at what makes sense for our context here. I'd be interested to hear from stakeholders. How pervasive is the issue? If it is an issue, is it something that's unmanageable? It's when you're comparing other school districts, those leaders have to do what makes sense for their constituents, for their population. We have to do what makes sense for us. And so, we'll collect the information, we'll review the information, and, I'm sure you have a lot of board members that'll be eager to weigh in on that information.
In the case of CVA, I just want to say that me as an individual, I would not work at a place where the company doesn't trust me to be able to responsibly bring a drink into this. I'm sorry. I went down the wrong road.
Yes. Your thoughts.
You guys have a few minutes to hang.
Sure.
Are you good? Because we have listeners with some questions, and
we have Micah's money to give away.
We have that too. So if you have any questions, we'll break. We'll do the free money question, and then we'll come back with Utica City School District Superintendent Dr. Christopher Spence. Coming up, Davey, what caller do you want to play for Joe's money this morning?
Caller 7.
Seventh caller. You can do that right now. We'll do the contest when we come right back, and then more with Dr. Spence. If you have questions, 315-736-0186. We'll get to that coming up. But caller 7 right now, your chance to win from Hobica and WIBX.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Do you know what time of year it is? It's our annual 50% off window installation sale at New York Sash.
Now, for a limited time, you can get 50% off the installation of any new window.
Need one new window? 50% off installation. 2 new windows? 50% off installation. 10 new windows? 50% off installation.
Choose from double hung, slider, bay, and more. Whatever window you need, we've got it all. All our windows are 50% off installation, and with our windows, you always get energy efficiency, long-lasting beauty, and lifetime warranties.
And did we mention 50% off installation right now?
Plus, with New York Sash, you get a stress-free, hassle-free, headache-free experience because our installers are true certified craftsmen. We never use subcontractors.
So take advantage of our 50% off new window installation. It happens once a year, and it's happening now.
Sale ends soon, so drop by our showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or call us at 624-7344 and visit NewYorkSash.com.
The State Fair will be here before you know it. Can you believe it? Don't ever buy a mattress at the State Fair. Get your quote at the State Fair. Bring it to Mattress Express. We'll meet or beat the price on the same or a comparable mattress. You'll get it delivered quick, and you'll get the local service when you need it.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. So I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tom Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit tallmanstire.com.
Summer is here, and at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, we're celebrating with unbeatable offers on trucks and SUVs perfect for your summer adventures. Check out the 2024 Trailblazer LS with the convenience package and remote start. Lease it now for just $279 a month. Or if you're ready to take on any terrain, drive away in the 2024 Equinox LS all-wheel drive Midnight Edition. Leased for only $349 a month. That's right. Both leases are for 3 years with 10,000 miles per year. Just $1,000 down payment plus all taxes and fees and your first payment due on delivery. But remember, you must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial and have a current lease in your household. Hurry in. These sizzling summer deals end August 31st. See why it's always easy to do business at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer or online at SteedPawneeChevy.com. Together, let's drive Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, where summer drives and unbeatable deals come together.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for the past 52 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingsshedsantique.com.
Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting the work done. You know this business can be back-breaking. All the more reason to partner with someone who has your back, like Clinton Tractor and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Ferris is about helping you finish strong and feel good doing it, with patented suspension technology that allows you to mow faster and get more work done in comfort so you can feel good tomorrow. Visit Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Joe, you're just talking about how people play guitar. We're talking about Greeley Ford. And I don't think you should cut yourself short. You also are a guitar player.
Yes. Would you tune that guitar to open E or something?
Correct.
G? And then said, here, just strum it and you'll sound like a musician.
That's right. All you got to do is use the pick and
that's awesome.
Up and down the neck. It sounds really good. All right, we're giving this morning. It's $250
per Davey.
How do you handle that, Joe?
The look in there.
He's now looking at Davey.
He's like, good thing there's this big piece of glass in between us.
All right, let me...
Davey, how could you?
Let me give Jack a chance to win our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika at 315-724-1600. Jack, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Andrew, Davey, and Mr. Joe, the man with the money.
As well as
Good morning.
Dr. Spence, superintendent of schools. All right.
Okay, Dr. Spence.
All right, and we'll take some calls if you have any questions for the superintendent. I know we've had some sent in. We'll get to that coming up and get his take on some things, the new superintendent of schools at Utica. All right, Jack, here's how we do this. You know, you'll have exactly 7 seconds to answer the question. And are you ready to go?
I'm as ready as it's going to be.
All right, this is for all the marbles.
250
250 of them. Here is your question.
I can use it.
Here is your question. If you were caught in school b-boying, what did you just do? Ready, go.
B-boying.
B-boying.
B-boying. Smoking in the bathroom?
Smoking in the boys' room. Is it smoking in the boys' room? It is not. Anybody? Oh, boy. Anybody have an idea on that one?
B-boying. I want to say breakdancing.
No.
It is breakdancing.
Oh, breakdancing.
Or B-girling, B-boying is breakdancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? You had to have been listening.
Yeah. I learned that while watching the Olympics, believe it or not.
That's what they said? Did they b-boyed all over the place?
They're b-boying all over the place. Yeah. We will give you the food and fun cards, $25 gift card, good at Aquavino. Babes, of course, where you can... Babes has done a tremendous job, and it's a great place in the summertime, too, because you can kind of sit out on the patio.
Live music.
And then brunch on the weekends, which is awesome. Taylor and the Cook. And then, of course, before you know it, the Comets are back in action, and that's just around the corner. So, all right, stand by. Davey is going to hook you up. Okay, Jack?
Okay, no problem.
All right, man.
All right, Jack,
Remember,
have a good one.
B-boying
Hey, guys, have a good one.
is breakdancing.
Joe gets to keep his money.
Joe gets to keep his
For
money.
now.
Yeah.
For now.
B-boying.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called that. So Lance and Lee, he's got a question. This was actually a question he asked yesterday when you were on, and I did not get a chance to ask.
By the way, is Dr. Christopher Spence. He is the new Utica School superintendent. And in here with board president Joe Hobeika here this morning.
Yes.
All right. Lance has a question. Apparently, go ahead. What do you have?
This was from yesterday, but since you're here, please ask Hobeika, what is the big issue now with the health insurance premiums for the district? Howard Potter seems to be on his soapbox again. End quote.
We discovered that the premium contribution for the staff, including the teachers, was artificially suppressed. So for a number of years, the premium contribution coming from the staff was actually artificially low. When we finally did discover it, and it took some effort to find it, it turned out that they hadn't raised the premiums or the premium contribution, not the percentage, but the dollar amounts to match the premiums for, I want to say, 5 or 6 years. It may have been longer than that.
So each year the district was.
So each year the district, as the employer, was contributing more than it should have, and the staff basically got a benefit from it. And then once it was discovered, we had to bring things back into line. It's just part of what we've been doing, and the information was relayed, not the exact dollar number, but basically an estimate, sometime last June. Now, whether or not that was communicated to rank and file members of the various unions, I can't tell you that, but it would appear that maybe not as much information went out as maybe it should have. And once the dollar numbers came in, obviously it was a sticker shock, especially because it had been artificially suppressed.
So what was the contribution? And this is
for each union, they have a different amount. Like one might be 20, one might be 10, one might be.
This is not
15.
the copay. This is what you pay.
This is what you're paying.
Period.
You're paying 15%.
Okay.
Of the premium, so to speak.
It comes out of your check.
It comes out of your check. Like I pay 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Right.
Somebody else might pay 50%.
Yeah. So this is not number one, it's not the premium. Number two, this is no change. This is always supposed to have been taken care of.
Unfortunately, it had been artificially suppressed and it never increased. It was always the same, and the district was picking up the amount.
So do you know what kind of an increase people are going to be looking at now?
I don't get in. That's a day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I'm sorry. I feel badly that we had to bring it in line with what you're supposed to do, but
you're not going back though.
No, we're not going back. We're not going back and
but going
asking,
forward.
We're not going back and
retroactively
clawing back the differential,
which according to the contract would be what should have been paid.
Correct, but we're not doing that.
All right.
I mean, it is what it is, and so we're just looking forward.
And where is Howard on this? By the way, Howard.
I don't know. This is something Lance said
because he should be. One would think that he would be for the taxpayers. Like, how are we paying? Of course we should be.
Well, in all reality, when a district is, fighting with the state continuously, and we talked about this foundation aid, and there's always a struggle and a competition for dollars at the state level, anything to save the district money you'd think would be welcomed.
Ultimately, Joe, I would say this is the crap that can't keep going on. This is the stuff you've got to make sure it doesn't happen going on.
That there's oversight on.
Well, that's that's
oversight.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. This was found somewhere. I mean, again, I don't want to rehash all the stuff that went on. We're trying to put it in the rearview mirror where all little things are going to pop up and be discovered. This one had an impact, but all we did was say, if it's supposed to be 80-20 or 85-15 or 90-10 or
and the premium
whatever
went from here to here.
Well, I mean, everybody's insurance premiums were going up.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that anyone increased the premium, artificially to cover it. We just, this is the new premium. This is what the contribution is.
Okay.
So that's my understanding of what the dispute is. Again, the interaction between the union, so to speak, and the admin, we're not there on the nuts and bolts of it. So that's what's been reported. I would believe that that's accurate. I did sit in a meeting at one point and with the insurance people. So I know that's what took place.
My solution is if you're paying, let's say it's going to cost you $20 more a month, just tune in every morning and try to win Joe's money.
Yeah,
and that'll cover
Sweet
it.
revenge.
That'll cover it.
A lot of our teachers are very smart, so they probably could win.
They could win.
Oh, yeah.
These are easy questions. I mean, b-boying, hello.
Who doesn't know a good b-boyer in their
Dr.
life?
Christopher Spence, here. This is for you. The new superintendent, this is Mike. New superintendent is refreshing. He is correct. There will be times things don't work, but as they say, you will miss 100% of the shots if you don't take any. And then, unfortunately, he says, taking away cell phones from some of these kids will be almost like taking away heroin from an addict because it'll be withdrawal. They're so used to having these phones on their person. How do you deal with that?
So again, we haven't determined that that's the route that we're going to go.
Right.
We have to really study and really understand how the phones are being used. We could go in there and find out that the phone is being used as a great instructional tool, and it's what allows kids to continue to do their coursework when they forget their Chromebook or etc. I don't necessarily understand or have the knowledge yet because I haven't got that granular. It's like my 7th day being here, so we truly
you don't have all
to,
the answers. Come on,
yeah, we got to really study this. I can tell you this much: when I was a teacher, there were times when I used cell phones to advance student learning in different ways, because I knew that's the way they connected with the world. That could be happening in every classroom.
Yeah.
Or it could be, the inverse, where kids are listening to music and they're checked out. We just don't know. And, before we, shift our culture and thinking because of what another system is doing, we have to really contextualize what we're talking about by studying and understanding. And that's, hearing from different stakeholders, getting a pulse on, what's going on.
I want to ask, this is a question or comment. I'll do it in the form of a question. Have you had the opportunity to look at Utica and look at all of the attributes? There was a time when all we talked about in Utica was the amazement of onlookers, the fact that there were so many different languages in the school district, the fact that so many kids went on to great places to do great things. And there are, have you had a chance to look at all the good things? We're talking about the bad things, but what about the good things that Utica has to offer?
Well, yes, one of the greatest things is our investment in our CTE programming, expanding pathways for students so that we can enhance occupational attainment, educational attainment for our students. So, and then, I think we're we're a large but small community, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, when I meet people and I see people doing really well and they're like, I'm a Proctor grad or I'm a, Utica grad, and and the pride that the community has for the school district, I think that's one of the things that it's hard to measure, but it's definitely invaluable. So I think a point of pride is, what we're doing structurally with the system, the fact that there has been a lot of work to sort of clean up or address some of the concerns that the public had and sort of, correct the course for the district, but also, the pride and the accomplishment really is in the people, because we're in the people business. And so it's a good feeling. I've got a chance to kind of get out and see people get into some of the buildings, and I think that, we're just going to continue to move this train along and, really build towards that culture of continuous improvement and really celebrate the things that we do well. I think, one of the, some of the things that happen is when you're in any community, any city, you have challenging things happen with your district, and like people are like, oh my God, it's so terrible here. I've worked in a lot of different places. I've studied education. I'll tell you, this is as bad as some things may have seemed. This is not like, oh my God, we're in the dumps. We have a lot to be proud about. This is a great system, and we're just going to manage it tightly in a way that's going to work for the people, in a way that's going to work for kids. And we've got a lot of things that we're talking about right now. I'm within my 100-day plan. I'm really collecting information, gathering evidence, meeting with stakeholders, so I can really understand the system, understand it from people's perspectives as well, and then we can start to align priorities with the board and make some informed decisions. So right now, everything is just data gathering.
Is there anything in that 100-day plan is out of the realm that's that you come to this with a unique strategy to tackle issues in a school district? Is there anything somebody's going to, wow, I can't believe the new superintendent has implemented this or is doing this? Is there anything out there that we're going to feel down the road?
Well, the plan is really designed, again, to collect data. So, my background, I am a social scientist, trained by Dr. SUNY Distinguished Professor Dr. Lois Weiss at the University at Buffalo, trained qualitatively and quantitatively. I don't know how I fare on the quantitative side anymore. I haven't been in statistics in a while, but so I kind of approach the work in that way and look at the work from that lens, gathering information and the ways in which, we utilize the data sets. How are we utilizing it? Which lens are we looking at it? And a lot of the things I talk about is expanding opportunity for all children and, expanding that opportunity structure so our people have the opportunity to engage in a truly meritocratic institution. With that being said, I'll be releasing surveys. We'll be collecting, a mix of data points to really inform my thinking. Because what you don't want to do is you have to be very careful about entering a system and telling people that have been here in the work, I got all the answers, I'm going to fix it. That doesn't work well. It's not a good practice. What I need to do is I need to learn what has occurred, what are the things that are in motion. I'm getting caught up to speed, and then I'm taking that information and then I'm looking at that and I'm really thinking about, well, how do we move the system forward as the CEO by acknowledging the work that has been done and where the people are. So, I'm learning from them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it too, because what may have worked in your time in Buffalo, Western New York, may not work here. I mean, the cultures may be different and the student makeup might be different. So I think to come in and learn about it and then form ideas based on what's already there is definitely better than trying to come in and just throw everything out, throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak.
How many relatives do you have here in Utica, and how many have you already appointed to the district?
Well, I got about 10,000 children now. I'll tell you that much. I don't know about it. They're not work age yet, but I got 10,000 kids.
All right, fair enough. And then somebody asked you as a student, what did you do? Did you were you a big reader? Did you play football? What did you do when you came up in high school?
Yeah, I think it varied. I've had the privilege of attended public schools. I've attended, traditional Catholic schools, was brought up by the Jesuits and brothers at one point. Then, I finished my last years of high schools in a suburban school, on the outskirts of New York City. So, different points, when I was in Catholic school, I was just trying to keep my head above the water, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We have very, very strict, disciplined a time there. And, as, things changed in my life, I gravitated more towards sports, basketball, track and running and things like that. I've always had a passion for reading and sociology and understanding, people and systems and things like that. But for the most part, my mother was a teacher, so there wasn't really much I was doing that didn't go along with what you were supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So, if anyone wants to know, I'll tell you this story. I spent my summers going to my mother's classroom and prepping it for the students for the next year. So I was always at school, prepping the classroom, doing schoolwork when I wasn't in summer school. My mother would bring home, I'm in second grade, she'd bring home a third and fourth grade book and then, be frustrated that I can't read in the fourth grade. I was struggling. So that was my summer, I did a lot of that, went to camp. So, for the most part, I was on a very short leash, but, I tried to, get involved in things.
Right.
What he's not telling you is that the dude never got a B.
Okay. Oh man,
don't even.
B came with something else.
I already know that, man.
There was a long
I live
stick.
the same way.
Dr. Christopher Spence, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Wish you the best and hope to get you back here again.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Joe, thank you.
Thanks.
We know we're going to get you back here again.
Thanks. We'll see you.
We got a break. News coming up next year, top of the hour at 8 o'clock on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
The Taliban holding a parade in Afghanistan. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, marking 3 years since taking back control of the country.
We see these videos today. We see the Taliban celebrating what happened 3 years ago, and it is a harsh reminder of where Afghanistan stands today.
Fox's Benjamin Hall reports in today's celebration they showed off American weapons left behind when U.S. troops were quickly leaving.
Many of the people who were left behind are still there. Many American allies are still trying to get out. We continue to speak to some of them. And since then, the Taliban has consolidated its grip on the country. It's implemented strict Islamic laws, restricting women to a second-class life lived under the veil and often behind locked doors.
While Israel awaits an attack, Iran vowed a new round of Gaza peace talks are tomorrow, though Hamas might not take part. Israeli airstrikes overnight killed 17 Palestinians.
Horrible stories of death and destruction plague the Strip each day. This week, one story pierced international headlines and the hearts of viewers, that of a young father whose twin babies were just days old, killed in an Israeli airstrike, along with his wife.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst, Haifa, Israel. A progressive Democrat who's been pro-Palestinian, critical of Israel's war, does what two of her House squad colleagues could not: survive a primary challenge. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar won in Minnesota.
We know it is joyful to want to live in a peaceful and equitable world.
Former President Trump will rally in North Carolina today, focused on the economy, while his former rival in the Republican primaries, Nikki Haley, tells Fox they have to quit whining about Vice President Harris.
You don't need to be talking about crowd sizes. You don't need to be going on rants about her not doing an interview. You don't need to talk about, things that don't matter.
Ernesto is hitting Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Well, it's not a hurricane yet.
It's still going to bring the same results: heavy rainfall, mudslides, power outages.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean says Ernesto will become a hurricane, maybe hit Bermuda this weekend. America's listening to Fox News.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. You know, tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he's reached a milestone.
I've done something that everybody said that I couldn't do. We now have enough signatures to get on the ballot in every state and the District of Columbia.
Though a judge in New York ruled this week that Kennedy should not be on that state's ballot, saying he lied about residency there while living in California. But Kennedy tells Fox's Hannity he'll win on appeal.
I vote in New York State. I've been voted in New York State my entire life. I've never voted anywhere else. My driver's license is from New York. I pay taxes in New York.
Now, Democrats have put abortion on the November ballot in 2 more states this week. Arizona and Missouri joined 4 others, letting voters decide whether to put abortion rights in state constitutions. While in Indiana, a lawsuit filed in a high-profile abortion case involving an Ohio girl has been dropped.
A federal judge has approved Attorney General Todd Rocada's request to dismiss the suit, which the Republican filed last year against Indiana University Health and IU Healthcare Associates. The suit accused the state's largest hospital system of violating federal patient privacy laws when a doctor told the Indianapolis Star that the then 10-year-old girl who was a rape victim traveled to the state for abortion drugs. Attorneys for Dr. Caitlin Bernard said she gave no identifying information about the girl and no details were reported in the July 1st, 2022 story. But the state attorney general says actions the health system has taken since then have satisfied his initial complaints. Dr. Bernard was reprimanded by the state medical board. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
We will get an inflation update again this hour, gauging consumer prices in July. The day after smaller than expected wholesale inflation sent the Dow and the NASDAQ surging, both up more than 400 points. Now, ahead of today's report, stock futures are barely moving. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Right now, we're at 64 degrees under mostly clear skies. We've got your full weather forecast coming up. A 15-year-old boy remains in critical condition after being the victim of a shooting in Syracuse. The teen was dropped off at Upstate University Hospital Monday night and was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. It's believed he was hit by gunfire on Westmoreland Avenue near the intersection of East Fayette Street. Anyone who has information on the case is asked to come forward. The state health commissioner has issued a standing order allowing pharmacists to give the RSV vaccine to pregnant people and older adults. The 3 main groups that should get vaccinated against RSV are adults 75 and older, people between the ages of 60 and 75 with underlying medical issues, and pregnant individuals. Those folks can head to a pharmacy to get a shot without a prescription from their doctor. RSV is a common illness in the fall and winter months and can cause serious health problems. Several fire and police departments are investigating a fatal fire in Vienna. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, deputies were called to Mulholland Road for a structure fire around 11 p.m. Monday. Authorities say the home was fully involved by the time they arrived. After putting out the blaze, a deceased man was found inside the residence. Authorities are withholding his name until a positive identification has been made. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. After waiting over 2 days, the town of Ohio had its power fully restored after the remnants of Tropical Depression Debbie ravaged the area. National Grid reported the lights went out around 4:30 a.m. Friday as the winds are 4:30 p.m. Friday as the winds and heavy rain downed several trees and wires around town. Restoration efforts completed Sunday night with all roads being cleared and power completely restored. It's unknown at this time what hit the town, as weather authorities have yet to investigate if there was a tornado. And a Whitestown woman was arrested on felony charges. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, deputies were dispatched to a residence in April on reports of a stolen handgun. The investigation was turned over to the Criminal Investigation Unit on August 12th. Officials arrested 49-year-old Julie Baird. Baird was charged with felony criminal possession of a firearm and felony criminal sale of a firearm in the third degree. She was held at Oneida County Correctional pending arraignment. It is 8:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. For today, expect mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated rain shower or thunderstorm, highs in the mid-80s. Mostly clear overnight with a low around 60, then a chance of rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high in the mid-80s. You can always get the full 5-day forecast at WIBX950.com. Right now, 64 and clear at 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. Well, it was all Juan Soto last night as he scored all of the offense for the Yankees in the form of 3 home runs, giving them a 4-1 win at Guaranteed Rate Field over the White Sox. Definitely a bounce back from their abysmal, deplorable, disgusting, disappointing loss on Monday. Nestor Cortez was credited with the victory after striking out 9 over 7 scoreless frames. Jake Cousins secured his first save of the season after striking out 2 batters in the bottom of the 9th. New York is leading the AL East again at 71-50. They have a half-game lead over the Orioles. They'll close out the 3-game set tonight in Chicago. Meanwhile, the Athletics opened their series against the Mets with a 9-4 win at Citi Field. Paul Blackburn was settled with the loss after allowing 7 runs, 6 of them earned on 6 hits over 4 innings pitched. New York is third in the NL East at 61-58 and will continue the 3-game set tonight in Queens. I believe they're a game and a half out of the wild card spot behind the Braves. Aaron Rodgers is hopeful that a top pass rusher for the Jets remains with the team. Veteran edge Hassan Reddick has requested a trade, but Rodgers said Tuesday he reached out to Reddick to try to convince him to join the team, but ultimately understands that Reddick must do what he feels is best for him and his family. Reddick, who has only 1 year remaining on his contract, officially requested the trade on Monday. And the Bengals are dealing with a predictable absence at training camp. Jamar Chase missed Tuesday's practice as he seeks a new contract. A lot of this going on across the league right now. Jamar Chase missed Tuesday's practice as he seeks a new contract. The receiver has 2 years left on his rookie deal and will make just under $5 million this season. He is due nearly $22 million in 2025 after the team picked up his 5th-year rookie option back in April. I heard a lot of people talking about this on a sports program that I was listening to, and I don't understand what it is with a lot of these athletes nowadays not honoring the terms of a contract. I get you're very talented and you have a lot of skill and you're going to get that big payday at some point, but you also got to kind of wait your turn and, honor the contract when you were drafted. I mean, if you're on a 3-year rookie contract and you're in year 3 and you're going to get that big paycheck next year, well, you have to wait till next year. I mean, you could hold out, but I think there's a lot of this going on. Now, it's understandable if you're going into free agency or there's a franchise tag situation, but you're seeing this a lot where rookies are like, I'm really good and I should get paid what I've deserved and I'm not going to wait and
Speaking of rookies, I'm sure, Davey, you saw this. Cleveland Browns rookie who was 54th in the NFL draft.
Yes, Mike Hall Jr.
Not good.
Really bad.
So
he was charged with domestic violence.
Yeah, threatening a woman with a gun. Turns out the woman was the mother of his child. Police allege he grabbed a handgun, pressed it against her temple, and threatened, "I will effing end it all. I don't care."
Wow.
The woman says that she's engaged to Hall and shares an 11-month-old child with him. Great way to destroy your incredible career.
Yeah, he was selected with the 54th overall pick out of Ohio State in April's draft. He has a hearing scheduled for September 10th, and one thing that we've realized recently, and rightfully so, the NFL does not play when it comes to domestic violence charges. But if you're involved in a leaving the scene of an accident because you're in a high-speed race with somebody,
well, that's different.
Rashid Rice,
and how about
you could play the season?
How about the news out of Minnesota? This had nothing to do with domestic violence, but J.J. McCarthy, the former Michigan quarterback that they drafted so high, out with a torn meniscus. Got hurt, and so they turned to Sam Darnold to be their quarterback.
And Sportico has released its annual list of the values of NFL franchises.
Ooh, yeah, this is always
ready?
Fun.
Of course, no big surprise. The Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
are the most valuable football team in America.
Are the Bills in the least top 12?
And the first to reach $10.32 billion. Followed by the Rams, the Giants at $7.65 billion. The Patriots at $7.31. The Jets are $6.8 billion valued. Followed by the Dolphins. The Bills, I don't know where they are, but they're valued at $3.7 billion. The Packers have no value. Sorry.
Is that based on the ownership?
I don't know. This is done by Forbes, so I don't know what their criteria is.
No, actually, I mean, I think that I read something recently. The way that Green Bay organized and is organized is grandfathered in. No team would be able to do that right now, being owned by essentially the fans.
By the fans, yeah. Is it possible to drive an award-winning Mazda with 0% APR financing? The answer to that is yes, yes, yes. At Steep Honey Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville, the new 2024 Mazda CX-5 SE. You can pick up for only $285 a month on a 36-month lease, or you can save with 0% financing. 0% APR financing on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. That includes the CX-5, the CX-9, the CX-90. See Ricky Z and Steve Pani Mazda for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pani Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Some things in life you can just rely on, like the faithful friend who always comes when you call, the paperboy who never misses a day, and the tried and true performance of a new Rude Home AC system. So here's to reliability built into everything we do. Rely on us, your Rude Pro partner, to get reliable cooling and comfort. For outstanding service, knowledgeable technicians, and dependable home comfort, contact Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning for all your heating and cooling home needs. Call 315-829-4100 or online at tri-countyheating.com.
Zero Foxtrot isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. Founded and operated by veterans, Zero Foxtrot's unique apparel and gear echoes the grit of the warrior culture. Zero Foxtrot dedicates itself to producing content, honoring the sacrifices of forgotten heroes of the past, and connecting history to the present. Embark on a journey with Zero Foxtrot today at zerofoxtrot.com. It's not merely our products, it's about the ethos that we embody. Rugged, resilient, and timeless.
Adirondack Home Furniture is the area's go-to store for top-quality, durable, American-made pieces for any room. And all month long, Adirondack Home Furniture is having a summer sale event on select floor pieces. Stop in and check out their hot summer buys all month long through Labor Day weekend. Are you looking for a better night's sleep? Then check out their selection of Restonic mattresses or their private label flippable mattress line. Once you select the perfect piece for your space, they can deliver it locally free of charge, or you can pick it up from their showroom. So stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today for their summer sales event and save big on select floor pieces and take what you love home today. And save even more in their clearance room with many new markdowns and price to sell items. Adirondack Home Furniture in Riverside Center, Utica. Give them a call at 315-738-7817 or visit AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Our back-to-school blowout is on at Mattress Express. Take up to 60 months to pay for anything in the store with no money down. Let me repeat that. Take up to 60 months to pay at Mattress Express with no money down for qualified buyers. See store for details.
My name is Mark Fry. I'm the Director of Thoracic Surgery here at Mohawk Valley Health System. I'm a board-certified thoracic surgeon specializing in robotic thoracic surgery. Thoracic surgery encompasses most of the issues that occur in the chest, things like lung cancer, esophageal cancer. We've implemented a multidisciplinary approach to thoracic oncology, which has never been available here in the Mohawk Valley. Patients really benefit from treatment in a multidisciplinary team, with a number of specialties all coming together to provide the cutting-edge, high-quality care that the patients of Mohawk Valley deserve. The lung cancer screening program here at MVHS identifies people who may be at high risk for lung cancer. It really drastically improves their outcomes and survival when we can identify these potential lung cancers early on before patients even have symptoms. Our thoracic program here at Mohawk Valley Health System really prides ourselves on high-quality, cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care.
For more information, visit mvhealthsystem.org.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for that. I want to tell you about Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Right now, there is this program is probably better than it has ever been right now. How long it lasts, we don't know. But NYSERDA's Empower Plus program is better than it's ever been, with huge improvements. And you could end up saving tremendously. A lot of this is income-based, but the people at Fred F. Collis & Sons, they know all about it. They can walk you through the program, help you get signed up for it, and take advantage of it. You might be surprised that you do qualify. You might qualify. Many customers end up being able to receive free heat pumps and free insulation. Eligibility, of course, is primarily on income. The biggest and most exciting program change this year is that even moderate income households can get up to $5,000 on energy efficient improvements. And there's another opportunity that's really big, especially for Rome residents who are dealing with the recent tornado. The Home Electrification Appliance Rebate, HEAR, H-E-A-R, funding that is through the Inflation Reduction Act. Right now, income-eligible New Yorkers can receive an electrical service upgrade, like a panel box and wiring upgrades, all through the government. And you may very well qualify. Again, Collis has all the details. You know you can trust them when it comes to installation, when it comes to service, but also when it comes to programs like this. They can help you save money. And in some cases, they may be able to walk you through a program where you don't even have to pay. It exists out there. Take advantage of it if you can. Call them today and see if you qualify. FredFCollis.com or call at 315-860-1301.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186. Or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, I want to tell you, it is happening in Herkimer County. There's so much going on, from food truck season, which is underway through the rest of the summer. Coming up, the Enchanted Forest is still open for the rest of the summer.
Where the fun never stops.
And before you know it, it'll be the Frankfurt Harbor Fest, which is coming up on September 12th. The Little Falls Cheese Festival is in October, and the Herkimer County Fair is underway. This week, tomorrow night is the Demolition Derby #1. It's at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Cars, trucks, and vans. And then there's another one, cars only, on Friday. The horse show is Saturday. The truck pull happens over the weekend on Saturday as well. Gymkhana is a horse show on Sunday. The tractor pull, the big tractor pull, is on Sunday. All of that stuff happening at the Herkimer County Fair, which is easy to get to. It's street shot.
Right to 5S.
Right on 5S to Frankfurt. Check it out. Andrew Reed is the legal expert when we do the Reed Rundown.
The Reed Rundown.
A lot of sound effects with that.
Not on this board, though, unfortunately.
Andy's on the line right now. Andrew Reed, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. Let's start. We'll throw 3 legal topics at you, and you ring them out for us. Here we go. Topic 1, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo as these banks under federal investigation over hundreds of millions of dollars in scams and fraud on instant payment platforms like Zelle. What do we know
There's
about
a lot
this?
of those out there now.
What do we know?
Yeah. So they're being investigated primarily because all these transactions are treated effectively like cash. And so once the transfer is initiated, you really can't claw it back. Very similar to how a wire transfer works, if anyone's ever used that. And so the government's just going, this seems a little off. If you're doing these instant transfers, it's one. We think there should be some way for people to claw it back, at least make it reasonable to get returned. And so that's where everything's kind of situated at the moment. We'll have to just wait and see where the investigation goes.
Okay, but it could affect people out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also
Very much so.
a very level of accountability on the person. You know, at least I use Venmo a lot, and there's a lot of verification elements to Venmo to make sure that the money you're sending to somebody is the person that you're sending it to. Like you have to, if it's somebody you're not regularly friends with, quote unquote, you have to type in the last 4 of their phone number or something like that.
Topic number 2, school employee jailed for stealing $1.5 million in chicken wings.
Wow, that's a lot of wings.
What an idiot.
So this is a case out of Chicago, and it really resulted out of an audit because they discovered that they had spent more than they anticipated during the pandemic on food. And an auditor started checking and realized that an elementary school was ordering bone-in wings, which for regulatory purposes, elementary schools are not supposed to order bone-in meats because that's a risk to small kids.
Yeah, choking hazard.
So that's how this person got caught. And unfortunately, we don't know from the reports if they were selling these wings or if they were using them for personal purposes. So I'm sure that will come out at trial.
Any truth to the rumor that's out there that the way they really caught her was they overheard her kids saying, "Not chicken wings again."
I think they heard her
no
saying.
No report confirmed that.
Okay. All right. Well, you never know. You just don't know. And then this is, this isn't certainly specific to this individual cases, but in general, not specific to a casino, but a casino worker says unpaid overtime ended up resulting in their dismissal. They complained that they weren't being paid for overtime, and they've been fired. Now, my guess is they have a chance to get some retribution here.
Yeah, and there's a little more to this story. So this was a person that had been hourly, discovered that their breaks were actually being counted against them. So they weren't actually taking some of their breaks, but their breaks were actually getting put into the system. So they were going, wait a minute, I didn't take that break. Why am I losing that time? And then they got switched to salary. And once they got switched to salary, some things came up. But as part of the job description, this person had to look at some more documentation, discovered there was an error with some reports not being filed that are required, according to the reports, by federal law. And so they reported this to their employer. A little bit later, they were fired. And so there's a question of, was that firing because they reported this failure to do this federal report? And if that's the case, this becomes a retaliatory firing and could result in a lot more issues because that changes it from likely a state claim to a federal claim.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Which could, if they pursue this, could mean some real dough.
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay. All right. 3 great cases right there. Andrew Reed, as always, the attorney through Fox News Radio. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And we will do the Reed Rundown.
The Reed Rundown.
Once again soon. All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
I think he went from a point of amusement with that.
I think he thinks we're idiots, to be
I
honest.
was just say now he absolutely hates it.
He's like, these people are stupid.
But I can tell you right now, he doesn't get the introduction from other stations that he does from us.
No. The other stations it's a boring intro.
Wah, wah.
Very, very boring. Coming up, we're going to speak with Mighty John, the record guy. John has 10 records. You know, Monday was Vinyl Record Day.
It was
a very special day. And we'll talk to John about that coming up. But he has 10 records here for as we wind down on garage sale season, yard sale season, and ransacking home season. It's your opportunity maybe to look in your own attic and find, wow, I've got something of some value here. We'll speak with Mighty John, the record guy, coming up at WIBX.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit TallmansTire.com.
Wouldn't it be great to have AC? You deserve to have air conditioning in your home. And no, I'm not talking about those clunky window units. I'm Jen from Standard, and my team is here to help. Regardless of the type of home you have or your income, we can install AC and make sure you stay comfortable this summer. And even better, in many cases, rebates and incentives significantly reduce the cost, or you could even get it for free. Call Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating today at 315-859-6292. We promise to save you money.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
And portions of today's program brought to you by River Hills Properties, Bill and Robin Monjo, a #1 independent real estate agency in upstate New York. #2 if you include the chains. And Andrew is also an agent with River Hills. And I bring this up to mention that they have a new TV show called Sold in upstate New York.
Sold!
It is a real estate program, and it's local, and they do a tremendous job. Each week they show houses that are for sale here currently, houses that have sold, and all of that. And it's available to watch on YouTube. Just search Sold, SOLD, or on WPNY Saturdays at 2 p.m., Sundays on Fox, 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. I'll get through it. Are we ready to speak with Mighty John?
On the line.
What was that? Is that John? It is. Okay. Mighty John, the record guy, on the line right now. John, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. Doing well. And talk, if you could, a little bit about Monday. It was, I believe, what do we call it? Vinyl Day?
Vinyl Day, Record Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes on those days they will release limited editions of certain records, which can go on to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how many were released and how collectible the recording artist is. Not every record store gets the same releases, so sometimes it can vary from state to state. So it all depends on where you are.
I know we have a couple of record stores here that usually participate. They'll end up getting like, I don't know, maybe a Green Day puts out a special vinyl record, and they'll get a copy of it. It'll cost you, a lot of times it'll set you back $60 or something to purchase it, but it's very rare and limited.
Exactly. I know that I think Led Zeppelin put something out about 10 years ago. It was a box set, all the recordings of their singles on the sides of 12-inch records, one single per side. I think it was 44 in the set, and now it's up to about $2,500.
Wow.
Not sure what it sold for back then, but I know it wasn't that amount of money.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. So here for the month of August, you never know. You may have in your own attic or basement or somewhere, and you might even go to a garage sale and find something that could be worth a lot of money. There are
Bouckville's this week.
Bouckville is this week. I forgot about that. Yeah. Big antique festival going on this week. So what to look for out there here in August? What do you have?
Well, look for the Temptations. Their number one hit, My Girl, with 45. It's a picture sleeve that's involved. The record itself worth up to about $25, but the picture sleeve by itself for My Girl up to $125. So
okay, all right.
Those picture sleeves so important. Three Dog Night, their album It Ain't Easy, sold a lot of copies, but the big money is for the copies where the band is nude on the cover.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
they're covered up by guitars and other things, but they're still nude.
Okay.
And that is up to $200.
All right.
Beatles, Help, the 45, with its picture sleeve up to $250, $200 of that for the picture sleeve.
Would you say when it comes to the Beatles, it's hard to go wrong? If you see a Beatles record that's original, it's kind of hard to go wrong.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Grab it.
Pick it up.
Yeah, I was, Tom Petty has a Sirius channel. Well, had a Sirius channel, but it still exists. It's really kind of eerie a little bit from time to time, I guess, when I think about it. But you're listening to Tom Petty talk, and he DJs and stuff. I did not realize this, but he was a huge record collector.
Yeah.
And
his record's worth money, too. I think his album Wildflowers, 94.
Okay.
He's up to about $400. So.
He was able to collect every single Elvis 45 and the what do they call those long plays that were 45s though? Maybe they had 4 songs.
EPs.
The EPs.
Yeah.
Anyway, every single release he was able to collect of Elvis Presley. That had to be a pretty valuable collection.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, well, number one on our list is Elvis, worth up to $12,000.
Okay. All right. What else do we have? More Beatles.
Beatles, Cool in the Gang, their
Cool in the
debut
Gang,
album, Cool in the Gang, current value up to $300.
All right.
First number one hit from Motown was Please, Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes. The album, currently up to $350. Michael Jackson, Thriller, 30 million copies sold. How can it be worth money? Look for the picture disc. There are several out there with Michael's picture on the vinyl itself, current value up to $400. Alvin Lee and 10 Years After, their album 10 Years After, currently up to $400. This is a good one. John Lennon sings great rock and roll hits. This was an album you could only purchase through a TV offer. And Lennon himself purchased a copy and was so mad that it took 2 months to get to him. John Lennon sings great rock and roll hits up to $800.
Wow.
Last song sung at Woodstock, Hey Joe, with picture sleeve up to $800, $750 of that for that picture sleeve. And Elvis, Marie's the name of his latest flame. This was a number one Billboard Hot 100 hit. The regular 45, worth up to about $40. But RCA also released it as a 7-inch 33, and that with picture sleeve up to $12,000.
Wow. How often do you, when you're out looking, do you come across something that is like a golden nugget?
Well, when you consider golden nugget, I consider generally anything worth $100 or more.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it all depends. You know, it's not an analytic that you can figure out. You just have to go. The more yard sales you go to, the more chances are you're going to find something. But, I think the last one that I found was actually an Elvis 78 of Heartbreak Hotel. I found that for $25, and it's worth about $150.
Wow. So, and I found one that I had asked you about, and it was actually an antique shop, and it was an Elvis album. I believe his first album or second album ever put out. I think you gave it a value in pristine shape of about $500. I bought it for $1, and it was mixed in with a bunch of RCA reissues.
Yep.
And you can totally just lifting it up, you can tell by weight the difference between an original and a lot of these copies.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the reissues were like what we call flexi disc. You practically bend them.
Yeah.
Where an original, you bend it and you break it.
I always said, my mother would be like, "Be careful where you set that K-Tel record. You might sit on it and break it." And I'm like, "Trust me, you can't break this record."
And it doesn't make any difference as far as value goes.
And it didn't matter anyway. So, all right. One of the things that I had purchased from you and I use often, and it comes on a thumb drive, is your listing of how many records, like over 1 million records, and their current values.
Right, 75,000 different artists, over 1 million records, and now since you purchased that, something new. With any purchase, we will send you a list of potential buyers in your area. So that's something we do for free now. So you can have a record appraised for $1, and we'll still send you the buyers, or you can buy the record appraisal guide, and we'll still send you the buyers.
That's pretty cool, considering my wife is always like, I don't, why you do that, I don't even know, because you're never going to get rid of it. However, if you have a buyer that's willing to pay for it, maybe you would be willing.
So, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, it's moneymusic.com is the website. You can actually purchase that thumb drive right there on the website. And as always, John, we appreciate your knowledge.
Well, I thank you, Bill. Look forward to the next time.
All right. Thank you so much. Mighty John, the record guy. Pretty cool.
You talk about somebody who's a master in their craft. John is, and also a friend of Stephen King.
And it is very interesting, too, how there's been such a resurgence when it comes to vinyl.
I was at a house showing it for my clients ended up buying it, and the inspection was the other day, and there it was on the dining room, like as a centerpiece, a nice little record player.
Yeah, we do.
Full vinyl collection.
We have one. And Davey has one. In fact, although you won't find one in the building here, a record player.
No, you won't.
Turntable. But I just had recently a friend who wanted to, for his wife, give her a big birthday gift and buy her a turntable, and a little amp, and some records. It's a big deal today. Pretty cool.
Indeed.
There is a little different. There's a different sound.
And artists are releasing their new albums in vinyl format as well.
Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, go to moneymusic.com for details. Ryan Noble's coming up at WIBX.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley, take up to 60 months to pay with no money down at Mattress Express on anything in the store for qualified buyers. See store for details. Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus in New Hartford, and Oneida and the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris Commercial Mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it. With patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Zero Foxtrot isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. Founded and operated by veterans, Zero Foxtrot's unique apparel and gear echoes the grit of the warrior culture. Zero Foxtrot dedicates itself to producing content, honoring the sacrifices of forgotten heroes of the past, and connecting history to the present. Embark on a journey with Zero Foxtrot today at zerofoxtrot.com. It's not merely our products, it's about the ethos that we embody. Rugged, resilient, and timeless.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
10. Nice work.
Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right?
Yes.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, you'll like it too.
Text RADIO to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text RADIO to 321-321. That's RADIO to 321-321.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
I believe, and I could be wrong, that the wife of Ryan Nobles, I'm pretty sure she was a Letterman intern back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Carrie?
Yep.
Nice.
I believe so. Here's Ryan Nobles to confirm that. Ryan, good morning.
I can confirm that, Bill. My wife was a intern for the David Letterman show.
Remember that time we had the I hired a producer and she claimed that not only was she an intern, but which I think she was, but she claimed to be such good friends with him. She took us all to his house in Connecticut, only to find out it was another woman's house who was yelling at us for being on her property.
That is incredible that you would go to the level, you're that level of delusion that you can just hope that it's his house.
One day I walked into to our office and there she was. Oh, Dave, you're so funny. And I'm like, is that Letterman? And she's like, yes. I said, can I talk to him? No, sorry.
No, he doesn't.
Gotta
like
go.
that.
He's gotta go. Click. Yeah.
Turns out, Carrie will tell you from her experience that the idea that any intern was close with Letterman is a fantasy.
Yes,
and that would probably have been the first clue that she wasn't an intern because he was very removed from the intern class, put it that way.
Well, you'd have to be, right? I mean, you'd have to be. So.
I didn't talk to Bill for 6
for
months
years,
when I walked through the door.
That's right.
Don't look at me.
The other strange connection to all of that is that Carrie was an intern with Letterman in the late 90s, and one of my really good friends, who is now the executive producer of Meet the Press, David Gellis, who I also worked with at CNN, was in the same intern class with Carrie.
Wow.
They interned together, and they are both in a sketch that we still have on VHS of them.
That is so cool.
With Letterman.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ryan's also responsible for me coming to work for you.
Yes,
so
that
thanks,
is
Ryan,
true.
a lot.
That is true.
Yep. Something he regrets greatly.
Ryan,
I
don't regret it, Bill. Maybe you regret it. I don't know.
You may be right. So I got to say that I just want to say one thing. I was thinking of you when we were in Europe last week and we were at the Vatican. Didn't get to see the Pope, but he was there. But just walking into that Sistine Chapel and silence. I mean, I believe that was the inspiration for Wizard of Oz. I could be wrong. I don't know if you were there when there were a lot of people, but they don't allow any photos. They don't allow any talking. It's pretty strict.
Yeah, Carrie and I went there. Actually, we went there on a tour. That Steve Marin, who was the general manager at WUTR at the time, set up for us, and we went with the whole group of Central New Yorkers.
Oh, right, I remember that.
And it was a riot, but yeah, we did the Sistine Chapel, did the whole tour of the Vatican, we did get to see a papal audience at the time.
Oh, you did.
Benedict was the Pope, but yeah, it is one of the most remarkable places on earth, and if you get a chance to get to Rome, you got to get to the Vatican. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, really a lifetime experience like you will never ever forget. So, okay, and while I was gone, holy crap! Look how things have changed.
A lot happened.
So, where are we right now? And you know the way this election cycle, let's not call it the news cycle, but the election cycle seems to be going, it almost begs you to expect something else to happen between now and Election Day.
Boy, you're right. I think that's such a good way to frame it, Bill. This is the election of unexpected developments. And, you know, every time you think that the race has settled into a routine, there's some sort of like really historic event that upends the direction of it. I mean, when you think about just the last month, you've had a debate which the performance of one of the participants was so bad that it forced them out of the race. You had a complete kind of revolt from the Democratic Party that pushed that nominee out of the race. You had them then quickly consolidate and put a brand new candidate in with only 100 days left in the election, something that's never happened. And then in the midst of all of that historic kind of change at the top of the ticket on the Democratic side, you had the sitting Republican nominee, who's a former president, survive an assassination attempt by just millimeters. It's really incredible the way that this whole thing has played itself out. But what I think is what is even more remarkable when you take all of those incredible developments that our kids and our grandkids will be talking about in their history classes in 20 or 30 years from now. I saw someone posted on social media a funny joke that we're living through the most difficult part of the AP history exam in 2055. But despite all of those historic moments, the race is exactly where it was right before the debate. And that is basically a 50-50 race where you probably could make the argument that Donald Trump has a very slight edge in the most important key swing states. And so, I think we're all bracing. Is there going to be another major event that changes the direction of the race? But where things are, we're basically right back where we started.
Yeah, I think if either side, someone tells you that they're comfortable, they're lying.
Oh no, there's no question about that. This is, there's so much volatility right now within and there's not volatility in the electorate writ large. I mean, probably 45% of the country on either side has decided who they're going to vote for. There's a margin of about 5% of the country right now that can't decide which way they're going to go. And that doesn't mean that they're necessarily considering voting for Trump or Harris. It also means that they're considering voting for a third-party candidate or not voting at all. And all of those dynamics will play a role in who the next president will be. But I do think the one thing that is probably the most concerning if you're a Republican right now is that despite that month-long role that Donald Trump was on, which I think everything I described up until Harris was nominated quickly by the Democrats, that was kind of an unprecedented run of luck for a presidential candidate. The idea that you could have a debate that went so well for you that you knocked your opponent out of the race, and then it leads to a turmoil in the Democratic Party. I mean, there was really a scenario there where Biden held on and refused to go, and the Democrats imploded as a result of it, and Donald Trump walks away with 400 electoral votes. Despite all of that, if you look at all the polling during that very difficult period of time for Democrats, Donald Trump never even cracked 50%. And so if he can't crack 50% in that window of time where everything is going his way, you have to imagine that he's basically hit a ceiling here. And the question is, of the two candidates, it appears that Kamala Harris has the one with room to grow. The question is, will she be able to take advantage of that, which I think is still a very big unknown right now.
New York Times story yesterday regarding Hunter Biden. And turns out that now that Joe Biden is out of the race, this has been made public, and that Hunter Biden was asking for U.S. government help. Your take on this and the fact that it didn't come out until now, that there's no risk for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really dove into the story that deeply to get the ins and outs of it, but I do think I do think Hunter's activities throughout the world have always been a real problem for Joe Biden. And what I think you've seen found in each one of these instances is that he certainly was peddling his father's influence. He was telling people that his father could help them, whether they was overtly or through subtext or, with just the impression that he would give people when he went in rooms. But what Republicans and when investigators, the federal investigators as well that have looked into this, have been unable to find is that connection that these acts ever turned into anything tangible. And that's not good for Democrats, not good for Biden. But I think that's one of the reasons Biden isn't a candidate anymore, because it was kind of the baggage that he was carrying around.
Yeah.
And I think that, it is interesting that the kind of this somewhat of a bombshell, I don't know if it's would describe it fully as a bombshell, comes out after Biden decides to get out of the race. But Joe Biden has a big decision to make here about his son. He had said when he was still a candidate that he was not going to pardon him, that he was going to let the judicial system play itself out. That's when he was a candidate and it was a live ball and he had political consequences.
Yeah.
He no longer has any of those political consequences. He is kind of free to do whatever he wants without any repercussion. And given what I know from my own reporting about his love for his son and his worry about him going to prison, you have to wonder if there's a calculation there for the president that wasn't there before about offering him a pardon in the last days of his administration. I think that's probably a real possibility now.
Probably, right? Probably.
Wouldn't shock me.
What else? What is looming out there that you're working on right now?
Well, kind of an extension of that Biden conversation, and I didn't want to mix the two apart because I do think that there's a serious Hunter continues to be and will always be a kind of a black cloud that's hanging over his father. But the one thing I do think Republicans could make a huge mistake here is that they've built the campaign that was not really about propping up Donald Trump as a candidate, that was showing what he would do when he would get into office and offering a vision for the country for the future. His campaign was largely just destroying Joe Biden, and they were remarkably successful with that. I mean, they found a way to take a president who over the past 4 years has had a significant number of domestic accomplishments, the infrastructure bill, with the COVID relief package, with the administration of the COVID vaccine, with an economy that has been unbelievably resilient considering everything that happened during the pandemic, that never went into recession territory. Certainly inflation was a huge problem and continues to be a huge problem and has been a drag on Biden. But the way that they have perceived and presented Biden to the country resonated. But it was also kind of the foundation of their presidential campaign. And even to this day, Trump can't quit Biden, right? Every social media post somehow brings Biden back up. I was driving through, I was in upstate New York all week for my aunt passed away. And so we were at a funeral in Buffalo, and, driving through kind of rural upstate New York, you see all these kind of anti-Biden signs. And so he can't run a campaign anymore that's anti-Biden. He can't run a campaign anymore where they trash Hunter Biden. That's no longer relevant. There is some, connection you can make to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and try and extend what they feel are the failed policies of Biden to Harris. But there's not a huge degree of transference from the portrait they painted of Joe Biden, which was a bumbling old man who couldn't handle the job anymore, to a young, vibrant, new candidate who presents in a way that's completely different from Joe Biden. And so that's the big challenge Republicans have right now, is they've got to rejigger their entire presidential campaign at this point, because their plan was to just drive Biden's numbers so low that they fell underneath Trump's ceiling. And so if Harris is able to break through that ceiling, I think it's going to be very difficult for Republicans to recover from that.
Well, and you have the convention coming up, which should be, like it was for Republicans, should be a honeymoon of sorts for Democrats.
You're absolutely right. And, the Republicans, to their credit, had a very good campaign. I think that they very much, everything up until probably halfway through Trump's acceptance speech, which ended up being a little long and meandering and kind of lost the plot. But, the leading up to it, I thought Vance's speech was solid. I think they presented kind of the best version of their brand of Republican politics. But, Trump's biggest problem has always been his game plan is always just to rile up the base. That's what the Vance pick did. That's, he has not shown and demonstrated an ability to try and widen the base of support that he would need to win a presidential election. He didn't win in 2016 because he had convinced all these people to come into the fold. He won because he drove Hillary Clinton's numbers so low. And so I think that Democrats have a real opportunity here. And this is where Democrats have stumbled too. I mean, both sides have become too tribal. and they haven't tried to look beyond kind of their traditional bases of support for that voter that's in the middle that's frustrated. And if it's the one thing, and you and I have talked about this a million times, that has been most prevalent in this election is this group of Americans who are like, I don't like either of you. Someone's got to give me a better alternative here. Harris has an opportunity, although it's a short runway, to present that fresh, new alternative, a true new generation of leadership that most Washington politicians have not been able to demonstrate. And the convention is her opportunity with a lot of eyeballs to come forward. And, even though she's been around for a while, she ran for president in 2020. She was kind of a star when she came up in the United States Senate from California as the attorney general there. Most Americans really don't know her. They kind of have a caricature of her that they think had been painted by Republicans. But she does not have the same kind of baked-in opinion of herself that Hillary Clinton had. So she has a real opportunity here. And the thing is, the timing can either really backfire for her in that she doesn't have enough time to demonstrate who she really is, or it could work out perfectly where she gets to set the narrative as to who she is, and it doesn't give Republicans enough time to counter that narrative. And that all starts with the convention next week.
And then, of course, right around the corner is the debate that was on and off, and now it's back on again.
Yeah, and it's funny, we've talked about debates before and acted like they're not that important anymore.
Oh boy, we learned about that, didn't we?
Changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think that this debate will have a ton of impact on the race. Because Trump's initial debate, and you've noticed I've been cautious not to say that he had a particularly good debate, because I don't think he did have a good debate. It's just that Biden had such a terrible debate, historically terrible debate. And Kamala Harris, I think her public speaking has gotten much better. I covered her a little bit in the 2020 campaign, and was surprised that she didn't have the level of charisma that you would need to run for president. I think that's turned, the amount of public speaking she's done here in this rollout, I think, has been impressive and much better than she was in 2020. But the one thing she's always been very good at is being skilled on the debate stage. She is a former prosecutor. She was always, her kind of how she made her name in the United States Senate was carving up witnesses in these congressional hearings. So I don't think that Donald Trump has ever really been in a situation with someone like Kamala Harris, a woman of color, a smart woman of color, who knows how to handle a situation like this. And I think that's going to put him in a very difficult position. He can't just call her names. I mean, he's going to try to do that. But I don't think that lands the same way it does against a Joe Biden or a Hillary Clinton.
And there's no doubt this is going to be must-see TV. This is going to be one you're really, really going to want to watch. Ryan, as always, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, guys. Always good to talk to you.
Thanks so much.
Right,
go Bills, go Mets. I'm getting nervous. Okay. Ryan Nobles. Gotta go. News next.
Having chest pain is frightening. Believe me, I know. Am I having a heart attack? I'm short of breath. What's happening? This is Dr. Fred Tellerico. I'm a cardiologist, chief medical officer at the Wynn Hospital, and also a cardiac patient. And I can tell you firsthand that our dedicated staff, along with the physicians and mid-level providers of Central New York Cardiology, provide the quality care required in treating all aspects of heart disease. With our emergency department and EMS partners, we also offer the best treatment for acute cardiac emergencies, including angioplasty for those suffering from a heart attack, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the hospital being brand new, we are able to employ the most up-to-date expertise and technology. Our facility is only one of two hospitals statewide honored by the American College of Cardiology with the prestigious award of being a quality heart care center. Our patients at the Wynn can be assured that we want what is best for them. We are a small community, and you are our neighbors, our friends, and even family members. We take this personally and are dedicated to providing you the quality care you need.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX.